Welcome everyone to Talented Universe on this 31st day of August 2025. I can't believe August is over. It is just too crazy. Before I introduce I think I'm going to have Marcia introduce our guest today, but let me introduce our other co-hosts first. Greg, how are you doing today?
I'm doing well today. Thank you, Michael. How are you?
Pretty good. Liz, how are you doing?
I'm doing absolutely fantastic.
Great. Marcia, how are you doing? And then introduce our fabulous guest.
Sure. Hi, I am doing fabulous here in Northeast Florida, and I'm happy to welcome our guest today, Annamaria Serda, who you may have seen in one of our favorite shows of the Librarians, the next chapter, and she's also been in the Outpost. Welcome, Annamaria.
Whoops.
I think she's lagging.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Oh, good. Okay. I would just welcome you to our show.
Hi, it's really nice to be here with all of you.
Oh boy.
I think your microphone might be muted, but okay. Yeah.
Wait.
Mhm.
Hello.
Hi.
She's got hers muted right there. It goes.
We're having fun time this morning.
Yeah, this is not. Okay, try again.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Yes.
Sound like a phone commercial.
So
Yes.
nice to be here. Thank you. I did not fully hear your introduction, but I'm sure it was amazing.
It was amazing.
It was amazing, yes. Okay, Marcia, go ahead and ask
you,
her the first question.
And thank you, Michael, for inviting me.
No problem.
Yes, we recently have seen you in, of course, one of our favorite shows, The Librarians, the next chapter, in the episode And the House of Cards. So that was a really fun episode. Can you tell us how you've been in the Outpost before, so you've been in the family, but the role of Vera. Tell me about the role of Vera.
Yeah, I thought she was such a fun character to play because she's a newlywed in, the beginning of kind of like the roaring 20s. So she's just, this girl who that's the main thing that she wants for her to happen is to get married and marry rich and sort of that's kind of what we built the character around. And then she's obviously in this fabulous setting and she has kind of everything she wants and more. And she, is having an affair with the very dashing actor Chauncey Cooper, played by my lovely friend and colleague Dominic Chichak, who also was on your podcast. Yes. So then she has a lot of stuff going on in, her sort of tidbits, because she is obviously ends up being a suspect for the murder. Yeah. And so she's kind of she's very fun, young, and, just there's a lot going on, much more than what you say at first glance. And just also, I think what sort of helped me when I auditioned, I just, I found her very fun. I love also I just love murder mysteries. So I love this sense of obviously the character, is hiding something and, but nothing, in this case, it wasn't anything, too serious. She was having an affair, so it was kind of fun, and I just had fun with it. And yeah, and then, but when we got to sort of the costumes by the fabulous Ivana Vasic, who in this and this is a fun fact for everyone, is that the costume I was wearing is the original wedding dress from Ivana's actually aunt. I think it's her grandmother's sister. But in that, so it's all in the family, which they, altered for me. And then they gave me this wonderful sort of, fur, and just made, Vera this fabulous girl about town who married rich and just, is ready to get her life started.
Wow, that is an amazing tidbit. Thank you. And we have loved her costuming throughout this show, Ivana. And she's been on our show as well, but it just was so perfect for you. What an honor to be able to wear that. And I love the interchange between you, Vera, and her husband when when they're arguing back and forth, and she talks to him about his gambling and
Yeah. It was a lot of fun. That scene was a lot of fun for all three of us. For Alexandre Aja, a wonderful actor, and who plays my husband, and Blue Robinson, I was just so thrilled to watch work live, and we had a lot of fun. It was just very natural. It came about, it didn't feel like too much work at all, just between the three of us, the banter. But that's obviously because we were just led so wonderfully by our director, the director of that episode, Orshi Najpal, who, I'm sending all my love to right now, a wonderful female director who's just, who's rocking the whole universe, of electric entertainment.
Thank you. Okay, Greg, you're up.
Greg, your mic.
I muted in case the cat was yowling earlier. I just didn't want him to. Coming into the House of Cards, with this cocktail party, tarot card reading, evening, in between takes, was it hard not to stay in character and continue that cocktail party atmosphere?
Yeah, it was. We kind of did continue the cocktail party atmosphere for just that, maybe for the scene where you see the tarot reading, where we're all together in the room. It just felt like a huge just hangout party between all of us. It was this wonderful ensemble cast of Serbian, Croatian, English, Australian actors. And it was just a wonderful exchange. Some people I knew before, some people I didn't know before. And, Dominic and I actually went to high school together. So there's another.
Oh, really?
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's
Another fun
exciting.
fact. Yeah, there's another fun fact for everyone. But yeah, so it was just, it felt very, very interesting. And I loved watching all these actors work, especially what I would find really, really important to say is that sometimes being a background actor, which is essentially kind of what we were in the tarot reading scene, is really hard. And it's not that you work less as a background actor. And if you don't have lines that day, you really do work all the time. And you try to make every take interesting and fresh. And I think I was very inspired by the ensemble cast. It just, by the level of professionalism, everyone was very funny. Everyone was super professional. You had people of all different ages, different backgrounds. It was a really, really unique experience. Yeah. I learned a lot from the tarot reading scenes, shooting those.
Oh, I believe it. Yeah, you watch things and it's like you wonder how, take after take, the background can be, it's not just they sat down somewhere and they're doing something in front of all these strangers. They're part of the scene. So it's, you can see how you have to act like you're that character, even though you don't have any lines. So I can see it being both fun and challenging at the same time.
Yeah, it is. It is. That's what I felt the other day. I saw The Phoenician Scheme by Wes Anderson, who's like one of my favorite directors, by the way. And I saw some really, really great, famous actors who didn't have a line in film. They were just basically silent, and they didn't have a lot of screen time either. You know how he does these big ensemble, casts, but they just, they still were just as meaningful and so funny and so what good. And so I was like, okay, so that's what it's all about. It doesn't matter that much, if you don't have a line in, you can still, do a fantastic job. It doesn't feel any less like you're acting any less, and like you have any less of a job, if you know what I mean.
I
Yeah.
do. I do. Over to you, Liz.
Yeah, actually, I'm going to give you several different questions, but they're all going to kind of go in together. Starting with one, and your role with this. We've already mentioned that you've acted with Dean before. In fact, I believe you did 2 different seasons with 2 different roles in the Outpost. And then doing this, you mentioned that you had to go through the audition process. So when this role was being done, Dean didn't have you in mind to do this role. You had to go through the whole audition for it.
Yes. I don't know if Dean has me in mind for any role. I would really like that he does. but I always go, like my experience this far, I always go through an audition process for any role that I've ever done. And I don't hate it. I mean, I don't mind auditioning. I like it. I've gotten used to the whole self-tape process. I think it's really, I think it's good. I think it's good to audition. I think it's good to audition for different roles. I did audition for some different roles for this, for the Librarians. So it's kind of really interesting to see what you get, like sort of how you're perceived, what you do. So I think auditioning is a natural process for actors, especially, my age. And obviously I don't mind it, and I'm very happy to audition. I think it's today, what the feedback that I'm getting all over the world. I was just in London. I was, talking to my friends who are in theater, some people who are in film, and everyone's saying, you know what, there's not as many auditions as you might think. Auditions are rare. And so I really do feel every time I get an audition, I get a call back, I think of it as a privilege, and I jump at the opportunity. I fully try to sort of dress as much as the character, obviously not overboard, but not in a crazy way. But I always do, I make an effort, I wash my hair. No, I'm kidding. But
That would help.
it's just, I do try to get as much into the character as I can. I do enjoy it. It's an opportunity for you to do your job, and there's a certain kind of freedom to self-taping, but also I do love to audition live. I think there's a certain adrenaline to it. There's a certain letting go, stepping up to the moment, letting go, not being able to stress on the little things, not being able to be super meticulous and be like, oh, should I do this? Oh, my hair was out of place. Oh, this is, I could have said this line different. I could have done this. I think auditioning live is really, really healthy. And, I think we kind of missed out. Obviously it's not happening as much anymore, but I do love it when I get a chance to do it. Yeah.
Okay, that would then bring back. I know that you are a trained soprano and have done musical theater. When did you first realize, or what influenced you, that you wanted to become an actress, or better yet, that you wanted to work on stage?
On stage. Well, I think when I was in high school, we had a drama group, and it was sort of, that's how you start on stage. I mean, you don't really start on camera in these, kind of in that scenario. So then I got into a drama school, and my professor was a theater person. She's a really acclaimed Serbian theater director called Vida Ognjenovic. So what we did in drama school was, mostly theater. And then when I saw stuff like Les Mis, Mamma Mia, and all these, and some wonderful, wonderful local musical theater based on stories from the Balkans, I really, felt like that was my passion. I obviously love all kinds of, drama, straight plays, comedies. I'm currently, doing a comedy show. And I love, screen work as well equally. But musical theater is just something that makes my heart beat just a little bit faster than anything else. So yeah, it's definitely my passion. Acting through song is kind of like my lifeline. I'm not gonna lie.
What would be your dream role if you got a chance?
In theater, are you
In theater,
asking?
yeah.
Yeah,
In theater.
Eponine in Les Mis.
Okay.
Did I
Yeah, that's
answer
a very
too
good
quickly?
No. No. Les Mis actually is one of my favorites as well. I'm going to throw it back to Michael because it looks like we're getting questions in the chat room.
Yes, we are. Our first question. Now, if I butcher people's names, I am so sorry. Sonia Roddens asked, how do you find you can integrate your Balkan roots in your international career? And I'll add to that, do you find it easier that the new Librarians is set in Serbia? Does that help?
I think I love that it's set in Serbia. I think it's so interesting and it's so fun from the episodes that I've watched that I'm not in, which I have done. I'm not completely like self-obsessed. I have seen other episodes. I think they're so good. I love, obviously I love just seeing, the locations, and I love the characters. I love, the main characters like Vikram, just saying all these, Serbian locations and, stuff from our culture. I think it's so fun. And I think it's so wonderful that we're kind of, giving it this massive international platform. I think like regarding my Balkan roots, the more I work internationally and the more time I spend abroad, I do feel that my roots sort of come across more. It's like I'm growing more into them. It's just a specific kind of temperament. It's just a mixture, of different nations and languages and accents, and it's obviously very different it's a different kind of temperament to for example a British temperament. So I think it's so fun to see us, people, local cast, and what we bring, to the table. Obviously, like I'm, lucky enough to speak, English, like it's, my mother tongue. So then, I just sort of, the language isn't a barrier for me, so that I can really access everything that's within my character and within my, acting toolbox. And I can just bring something, to these shows and to these characters that, maybe someone who wasn't from the Balkans, wouldn't do. So obviously, I think with these wonderful, wonderful projects, which there's just so many now, that Dean Devlin and Jonathan English from Balkanic Media are shooting in Serbia. I think it just gives a wonderful, that's what makes them stand out, and that's what makes them so successful, is because you have this mixture of, Balkan and Eastern European temperament and culture, and, with American and English and Australian and everything. It's kind of like the best cocktail ever.
Yeah, we have noticed that. We have said that when we were doing our review shows, that it was nice seeing some different backgrounds and seeing the architecture of Serbia and that whole area there. I mean, it was just fabulous, fabulous. So and now okay, here's another one that I'm going to probably butcher, but I'm going to try. Maya Pavlovich says, how much range can you show as an actor within the fantasy sci-fi genre? Well, that's an interesting question.
Yeah, I think it's such a thankful genre for that, because it just opens up, it's like we're seeing with the Librarians, also like the arc. If you could just compare those two, they're so different. I mean, they both have sci-fi, they're both sci-fi in a sense, but they're so different in that sense. In all of these projects within Dean's universe, you have just such a range, and I think that gives us actors who are lucky enough to be in his stuff or and to audition for his work, is like you have such an opportunity to show your range. And I do feel like it's valued. I do feel like they Dean and Jonathan and all the directors that work with them, they want to give us a chance to be as creative and as different as we can. I don't feel like I've been pigeonholed in that sense, that I've been typecast. As you mentioned before, like I had two different roles in the same show. So yeah, I feel like sci-fi is this amazing, huge genre that you really are, that gives you so much opportunity to show your range and to play around. It's like kind of an endless source of inspiration, really, and yet it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. Okay. This is. I'm going to switch the way this was done. Greetings from Bronislav Janikovic, and then his question is, he put the question first and realized it didn't have his name on. Whoops, and I just lost it. Wait a minute. Oh, there we go. Annamaria, the character of Vera in Librarians is layered and emotionally demanding. How did you prepare for the role, and was it difficult to handle her inner conflicts?
Yeah. Yes. I feel every time.
You want me to throw that up again so you can see it? Okay.
Yeah. There's like no, of course, that's a really good serious question. Yes, it was difficult. Obviously, I feel like anything that's worthwhile isn't really easy. So I think that's kind of like what you're doing your job right, is when you feel, sometimes when you analyze like stuff so much that you kind of hit a wall and you're like, well, and then you kind of just let it go, and then start to get a new idea, or whatever happens. It's a really interesting process that no one can really explain. How I prepare is I analyze everything that I have in the script that's in front of me. As much information as I can get from the script, I get, even from scenes that my character isn't in, wherever, even if she's mentioned by anyone, that's valuable information. And I love to read the whole script when I can, of the whole, show, of the whole episode. Then what I do basically is I like to write everything down. I like to write out my lines. It helps me memorize them. I like to write backstory as well to the character. And then, I kind of just get into it so much, like that my lines, I don't even think about them anymore, and everything is just, I try to read up as much, be aware of the time of the piece, when it's happening, the relationships to the other characters. What is the genre of the show? What is the genre of the episode? Our episode was really specific, and I think that was the most challenging part, was getting sort of the tone of it right. That we kind of talked about it as well as an ensemble. We talked about it with Jonathan as well, our writer and director and producer. When on set, because it's like it is another dimension, and they're not, they're very, Olivia Morris has such a great line where she goes, "Aren't these characters a little, two-dimensional?"
Yeah.
And yeah, and they are. It's very and like some lines are just ridiculous, but you kind of have to believe, obviously, find the truth in what you're saying. whether it's connecting it to something in your life, whether, define just whatever works for mostly I do work like that, not all the time, but just to say, believe what you're saying. You are truthfully that character. You're not playing the ridiculous circumstances. You're playing your character's truth, and then everything around you, kind of the circumstances which are ridiculous, and then all of that adds to the comedy, but you never really play the comedy in itself. So that was the most challenging part of the whole episode and of these characters, is getting the tone right, not to be truthful yet funny, be out of this world, but don't be a caricature, just get it. So yeah, but hopefully I'm pretty happy with what we did. I love that it's an ensemble, so I didn't have to, I didn't analyze myself too much. I just looked at it as a huge group effort, which it was, and I just loved it. Yeah. I think we did a good job.
Yeah. Marcia.
Hi. Yeah, we were talking about the different roles that you played in the Outpost, for instance, where which I love the Outpost. And Dean had told us that in the first season, which you weren't in, but they had a very tiny portion of set to work with. And then from the second season on, it just exploded. And they had so much more to be able to show the story. Well, in your first role, you played a woman who, Alina was your character. I know it's a couple of years ago now, but and she had some important scenes with Anand Desai, who played Janzo.
Yeah.
And she was looking for food for her children, and so being able to work in the new expanded set, how did that feel?
It literally felt like a Midsummer Night's Dream. This is literally what it felt like, because it was the middle of COVID, and I was generally scared I was gonna die most of the time. No. but we were coming out. It was a really specific time. We were coming out of literally lockdown, and it wasn't my first shoot that I did in COVID. So it wasn't the first time that everyone was like wearing, it was pretty, generally shooting in COVID was very, very surreal. Like you go out from just like being locked up in your house, talking to everyone like this. As much as I love this, but when, in COVID, when we came out of it, you go to set and everyone's wearing a mask, that us, the actors, are the only ones that kind of have to not wear a mask. And so that I just found that whole experience a little terrifying and surreal. So then, the Outpost was like my second shoot after lockdown, but it was all pretty nearby. So I wasn't, really, it came kind of out of the blue. I auditioned. It was directed by the amazing Milan Todorovic Toki, who I'm sure, you are familiar with his work. He's also rocking the Dean Devlin universe worldwide. And he cast me as Alina, and I didn't know, I had no idea that the set looked like that. And I was just completely, kind of brought out of this like shell that I was living in for months, and then all of a sudden I walk in. By the way, I love a period piece. Like that's all I kind of watch, like I love period pieces. So when I walked into this, it was just, hot summer day, and it was like a huge set, everything in wood. Like I was in this medieval, place, village, town, all of it. It was completely surreal. And I was in this fantastic, costume, also by Ivana Vasic, and then there was Anand, who also, doesn't look too terrible. I mean, come on. Yeah. And then, so I just, and Toki was just, he directed us so well, and he was so welcoming and lovely. So it was just this amazing, amazing experience. And it was like over far too fast. Like for me, I was just literally walking back to my trailer and I'm thinking, this was literally like a midsummer dream. Like what is, it's a really amazing show. It's an amazing endeavor that they did. The set that they built is fantastic. And, just the scope of that production and everyone in it. So yeah, let's hope there will be more. I feel like there is a lot of fans of The Outpost. I'm one of them.
Oh,
So,
yes. And we know it's still there, and we know we saw a little bit of it in the Librarians too.
You guys are informed. You guys are informed. I wasn't sure I was allowed to say anything, but you said it.
We've already seen it, so
Yes.
Wow.
We've seen the whole series of first
Oh,
season.
yeah.
Now, so,
Mm-hmm. And in the second role that if you played in The Outpost, you played a copy woman where you had makeup on.
Yeah.
And that was the final episode so far for The Outpost, which was Nothing Lasts Forever, which was a beautiful episode to end on. And how was it to be in the final episode after, and very nicely wound up, I must say.
It was really emotional. We had everyone was so emotional filming that wedding scene. I think that's what you're referring to. Everyone had a lot of fun. Like the main cast everyone was, kind of crying and the rest of us were just there really, kind of so sad that it's over. You kind of felt like, oh yeah, now you're here and you're finally a part of it. And then, oh no, we kind of are hoping, I'm saying, that there's going to be more of The Outpost. It doesn't, feel, at least to us, like I don't know. Obviously, the main cast has their, very thorough journey, and everyone did such an amazing job on it, and everyone's doing different things. But for us, the sort of the rest of the cast and the wider cast, should I say, it kind of felt like all of us, we're just getting started in that universe. Because it was obviously kind of the first project that we did. So that's kind of my feeling with The Outpost, is that it's like unfinished business. I still have a lot of stuff that I want to do with it. So yeah, I'm really hoping that it's not the end.
Yeah.
Come on.
And they left,
they
ends were tied up, yet there were obviously storylines that could continue, including the relationships between all the villagers, and so we are hoping for more. And thank you for your performances in The Outpost as well. And now I'm going to go to Greg.
So I'm going to bring us back to Librarians House of Cards. So one of the really neat things about this episode, and we've had Dominic on, we've had the writers on, we've had the costumer on, now we have you on. One of my favorite ideas about this show is that each of the characters was a representation of one of the major tarot cards, or the trumps. So as part of your character development, did they tell you which card you were? And did they give you any background information to help incorporate that into your character?
No.
Okay.
No, we did not. No, we didn't get that. I think for our characters, the newlyweds, I'm not sure that it was in the script at all. I'm pretty sure it wasn't. Otherwise, I would have seen it. But yeah, because I'm a nerd, so I see that kind of. I would have seen it. But when I remember getting to set, and then I was like, oh, is that what you guys are doing? Okay. Yeah, so we just kind of played with it. We played with it on the spot. But if I don't think from my characters, and obviously Philip and I, Alexandre and my character, I don't think we were. That was not part of the information that we were given in advance. But it was a lot of fun. I think that made it even more fun by my wonderful friend Sam Bell, who played Madame Visconti so brilliantly.
We have her on too.
Yes.
Yeah.
I know. So as she was like sort of revealing the tarot cards, it gave me more truth to being sort of like, what's going on? So yeah, I really enjoyed it. Also, yeah, I'm not gonna say I do like tarot cards, just personally as well. I think it's fun.
So did when you learned that everybody was supposed to be a card, did you figure out which card you were supposed to be?
Yeah, we were the lovers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Remember, they counted as two, they said, so.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking you were the emperor and empress because they weren't really like identified. So that's why I picked those two for my background with Chauncey.
Yeah. Yeah, you're gonna have to change that. No.
I guess I will. Okay,
Yeah.
co-pilot.
Give Copilot more information next time, Greg. Now you have more
No.
information.
Yeah. And now that you say that, I think I remember somebody else saying that.
Yeah, I think it was Bluey's character, wasn't it? When he kind of reveals he figures it out kind of. I mean, he says it, right? He says the stuff, who's who, and then he was like the lover. Yeah. So the lovers. Yeah. But that's the whole point, was to trick you. So it worked. So
yes, I was gonna rewatch it last night and I completely forgot. And then about 1 o'clock this afternoon, I'm like, I should have rewatched this.
It's a lot goes on. A lot goes on in the episode. A lot.
It does.
No worries.
So I'm going to ask you one now that I usually say for last. So when we had Dominic on, I learned or relearned that Croatia is so close to Italy. And then reading your bio, I learned you speak fluent Italian. So how often do you get to Italy? Do you have any favorite spots to visit in Italy? And
yes, I go quite often to Trieste because I'm currently in Rovinj, Croatia, which is like an hour and a half drive away from Trieste. So that's kind of I love going there recently, just because the musical theater scene there is really, really, big, and a lot of West End shows are there, just on tour there. So I love to go there to see shows. I love to go, just to have a drink, to have a pizza, to walk around, go shopping. Like that's my sort of go-to Italian spot currently. But but I do try to get to Italy to travel as much as I can. I don't, go as much as I'd like to, but, in Rovinj, it's a bilingual town. Everyone speaks, Italian as well. So it kind of feels like an Italian town as well as a Croatian one. So I get,
cool.
So it's beautiful. Yeah. But hopefully I think I'm going to go for my birthday this year. I feel like to Italy, definitely.
Awesome. Yeah, I went in '85 and I fell in love with the country.
It is time to go again. It is time to go again.
And now I know Croatia's so close. And Croatia's gorgeous from what I've seen.
Yeah, it is. It's really pretty. And it's because basically just for the edge, I'm a swimmer. I love to swim. That's like the only form of working out that doesn't, that I don't find just tedious. So I just love it. As long as I can swim, I'm always at the seaside. So that's kind of my favorite bit of Croatia. Just anything on the Adriatic is, wonderful. Definitely recommend it.
Perfect. I'll get there as soon as I can. That just sounds perfect for me. My wife's not big for the beaches, but I love them. Okay, and
Liz, if you
back to Liz, yes.
Oh, okay. I'm going to take us away from the librarians for a bit. You have been in 2 other shows that actually have had previous ARC members. One actually was one of my favorites, and I was hounding him to see when it was going to come out because I'm a very avid fan of history, and I know the story of the real group. You did Heroes of Halyard with Stephen Moore. And I thought that was really nice to have seen you in that. The other one, my daughter, actually, she's a huge, huge horror fan. And she's the one that brought this one to me. She goes, Mom, you've got to see this quirky And that's what she calls it. She goes, it's not straightforward horror. It's not straightforward comedy. It's a little bit quirky. And that was Slaughterhouse. And it
Yeah.
was so fun to do. I've noticed that you have been on a lot of different horror type programs or shows. And in a way, even the Librarians, the House of Cards, kind of a little bit was in that. Is that one of your favorite genres, or is it something you like to do?
It's just something I get cast in. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. It's not a genre that I personally really lean towards. It's not something that I watch a lot of. If someone, recommends something, or if my friends are, doing something and directing or acting in something, I'll watch it and I like it. But it's not kind of like a genre that like I said, that I naturally lean towards, but it's just, I don't know. It's what I get cast in. I don't know what it is. Maybe I just
And it
have like a
finds you.
really good scream or something. No, it kind of, there's a lot of horror films being shot in the Balkans, especially like American horror films, and I kind of have been shooting them since 2016. So the first one I ever did was Mayhem, directed by Joe Lynch.
Oh yeah, I've seen that one. That's good.
Yeah, that Stephen Yun is in.
Hmm.
Yeah. So and then ever since then, I've just that's how it started, kind of. And I think people once they cast you in something, they also like to collaborate with you again. And kind of casting directors like to put me in stuff like that. I've actually survived most of my horror films, which is also pretty rare. I'm really proud of that. But they're a lot of fun to do. Again, you don't really play, you just play I obviously don't mind doing them. I think they're a lot of fun, especially Slaughterhouse. That was just like a labor of love. That was just amazing. An amazing cast. That was actually, executive produced by Talkie as well, and his
I know.
production.
Well,
Yeah,
Tucky's a
so
huge horror fan to begin with, so
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so it was wonderful. Slaughterhouse is a very specific thing, and everyone involved in it was very passionate about it, and it was really it was a proper, labor of love by everyone. So us, the girls who were cast in it, it was again like a wonderful ensemble cast. We just had a lot of fun, and it was really
Nice.
funny script. Yeah, so I really enjoyed it, and I would definitely recommend for everyone to see Slaughterhouse, like horror fans and or not. It's just a
Yeah.
funny, fun, film.
And something I saw in your resume, and I didn't know if that was back when you were still in school that you did this, or something that you're interested in doing moving forward. But you had done a little bit of teaching regarding acting.
Yeah, when I was at school, I worked as a teacher's assistant at my university, and I focused on speech and on voice, because I got a PhD degree in acting through song. As I said, when I said I'm very passionate about acting through song, I was not kidding. I did a PhD in it. So yeah, so that's something that I really, really am. I do enjoy teaching, and anything, like I said, that's kind of like one of the things that I would like to do is teach acting through song. It's currently something that I'm pursuing, in a sense that I'm taking lessons in it. And, I just started because, in the Balkans, you don't really have lessons in that. So I, take private lessons with West End professionals. And so I'm really, really passionate about that. And it's like this whole different new sphere, a whole new world that's kind of opening to me right now. And it's obviously something that I would like to pass on as well to people, probably in the Balkans, where there's not that much of a market for it yet. So it's something that I'm working on, yes, as we speak.
Cool. I'm going to toss it back to Michael to see if there's anybody else in the chat room.
Yeah, we have
Thank you, Liz. Sorry, thank you, Liz, for
Oh.
your questions. That was some really, really excellent research work. It was
Oh.
if I didn't answer everything, and if you want to circle back to something, just let me know later. Yeah.
Oh, no problem. Thank you. Go ahead, Michael.
Okay, go ahead. Whoops. Okay, my computer is running slow. Here we go. Aisha says she's from the UK. Have you or would you ever audition for a voice acting role? And I'll stop it there, and then because she's into Japanese anime stuff. But would you even do or have you done a voiceover? Because I didn't see anything, but I might have missed it. Have you done any voiceover work?
Yeah, I have done voiceover work, and I should probably put that in my resume. Sorry. Yeah, I did. I have done some. Yeah, I have done some. I think I did a voiceover for the Outpost, to be honest.
Oh, did you? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did like a little like a voiceover for the Outpost a few years ago. I think it was before even I was cast as Alina. So it was a long time ago. But I actually currently did do some voiceover work in a show in Croatia that kind of led to me, like it was a full-on, role in the play and a comedy called We Will Rakia. And it's a a really fun show, and the voice role led to me having like a proper physical role in the play as well. So it's kind of like it's a wonderful thing. So I would which I'm really enjoying doing right now. So yeah, I'm having a lot of fun with it. So voiceover work is wonderful. Like I said, I'm really interested in the voice and the voice technique. So anything, yeah. So absolutely, I'm open to it. Why not?
Cool. And the last question I have here is from Nick Lipley. Hi, it's Nick from London. Really interesting interview and discussion. Everyone, Annamaria, what is the biggest thing you have learned from other actors?
Oh, I think there's a couple of things that I would say, especially from actors who are very experienced. I think I've been really lucky in that sense to work with proper international, actors who have done so much and, who are now, Academy Award nominees and etc. So I think what I've learned from them is that they're very focused well on set. There's a lot, they're very polite, kind to everyone, fun to be around, but also very focused at what they're doing. There's no sort of like, mucking about. There's no, we're here to do a job. And also in a way that they carry themselves is to be super professional, in a sense that to be kind, like I said, to be easy to work with. Like everyone says, like that's the main thing. Be easy to work with, be kind, be nice. That cannot be stated enough. Because like to especially be nice to the crew. I mean, for me, that was never like, I feel like I'm too nice to the crew. No, I'm kidding. But I'm just saying that I'm a chatty person. Like that's maybe just my thing that I kind of need to, like every behind the scenes photo of me in the Librarians, I have my mouth open. I'm either talking to the gripper, or I'm talking to my makeup person, or I'm talking to my castmates. I'm like, do I never shut up? Like, what is going on? So yes, that was never an issue for me. Don't be like nice. Don't like, I always, talk to everyone and like but also like treat everyone with kindness, be courteous. But what I would love is like everyone is equal. So there are no stars. There is no number on the call sheet. If we're in a scene together, the better you are, the better I am. We're all equal. So that's what I would say in the sort of more famous, more successful the actor, the nicer they are, in their private life, and the easier they are to work with, which that's my experience. So, and that's kind of like what I look up to, in a sense that everyone, just treat everyone like with decency and try to include everyone. If you see that no one's sitting, that someone doesn't have someone to sit with at lunch, offer them a seat, stuff like that. It's because that's what I really loved about the Librarians, is that it was like a proper ensemble. I'm so happy I was in this episode, to be honest, because it was like a proper ensemble cast episode. And we really did function like that. And if we didn't, we would all be there way longer, and everyone would just get exhausted and really annoyed. So, because we functioned so well as a group is what, made the whole work process, I think, hopefully, just efficient and fun. So I think that's just I learn as I observe them, but that's what I want to be, just like as professional, as focused, and as, nice and inclusive to everyone as I can be.
That's great. Now we're going to go final questions because we'd like to wrap it up pretty soon. So, Marcia.
Yes, thank you. Yes, we are getting to the end of our time with you, unfortunately. But I did want to mention another movie that you did in 2019 called Crawl, which was produced by Sam Raimi, and it's really interesting to me as a Floridian. Now I'm in Florida. I'm originally from New York, because it takes place in Florida, and the first thing that you see are Florida Gator swim caps on the swimmers. And if you know Florida, the Gators are king in Northeast Florida. Everybody, the Gators, they just take over everything. And so I actually saw the movie before we even had you scheduled to be on the show. I love disaster kind of films, and it's, hurricane and alligators. And you mentioned that you did swim, and that you love to swim, and that's where we see you first.
Yes, I do. I did all my own stunts. So
Wow.
I swam in the film. Yeah. It was like it was pretty intense shoot. I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, because it was mostly because, you obviously have to do it all over and over and over and over again, and you have to be, faster than your castmate, and that's the whole kind of point of the scene. So it was a lot, but obviously it was just an honor to be a part of such a great project that has such a wonderful afterlife. I feel like there's a lot of, I get a lot of fan messages from Crawl, just because I'm, part of this cast that is really quite small. So I'm just really, really happy that I was a part of it. Yeah.
And I also saw, as a little trivia note, that Quentin Tarantino, the great director, selected that movie as his favorite movie for 2019. So there you go.
I know. That's what I'm saying. I'm very lucky to be a part of it. Yeah, it was a great film. It was a great film.
Yeah. And thank you for being here with us. It's just been a joy and a pleasure, and I can't wait to see what you're going to do next. And let us know, please.
Greg.
Thank you, Marcia. I will.
Seeing I got two in earlier, I'm gonna just thank you so much for being here, and it's such a pleasure. It was such a pleasure seeing your performance. After listening to everybody else, I haven't gotten even through the end of season 1 of Outpost yet, so I will be looking for you. And that the history film was mentioned, it didn't even click. I'm going to check that out as well if I can. Absolutely a pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you, Greg. Thank you so much.
Liz.
I'm just going to say one quick thing, and then I'll say goodbye. But the one quick thing I wanted to ask is, I had noticed that you were interested in writing. Are you still interested in writing, and what type of writing? Screenplays or scripts?
Well, what I wrote the play. I wrote a play that I toured with, and it's an original musical, and it had a pretty good tour life, because we even, it went all the way from Croatia. It was produced here locally in Croatia, and it went and we actually toured all the way, to London. We also went to Trieste, and we've been all over the Balkans with it. It's called Carlota Grisi, From Visionada to Eternity. And I wrote the script and I wrote the lyrics. It's original music as well about this. It's the story of this very famous ballerina who's actually born in Croatia, in her life. So I'm pretty proud of that. And so, yeah, I would love to. I definitely will write my own stuff. I kind of feel like that's almost inevitable today. Like, if you want to do what you love, you got to do your own stuff as well and write your own stuff.
Yeah,
And
and I just wanted.
okay, I wanted to throw this in because you were just talking about this.
Okay.
Sonia said, they just saw you doing that. Any idea when you're going to be back in London again?
Well, hopefully soon. As I said, I am, in London pretty often because I'm taking singing and, acting through song lessons there. I just did a musical theater course at RADA this summer. So, so I think, within definitely this fall, I'll be back in London. I don't know if I will be performing anything yet, but hopefully I am working on it.
But you'll be there. Liz, sorry about that, but I wanted to get that thrown
that
in.
was fine. I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time to, come on here and join us and answer some of our questions. It's been an absolute pleasure, and we thank you.
Thank you. And thank you, Liz. Again, like your research skills, everyone's research skills are amazing, but Liz really pulled some, stuff out of the park there that I did not see coming. So thank you so much. And if you have any more questions, feel free to reach out for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And I'll do last with Aisha's question here. Being multilingual, how difficult do you find learning a new language?
Well, I haven't, tried everything since I went to an international school. Kind of the languages that I speak, which are, apart from English, Italian and Spanish and French, as well as, Croatian and Serbian. I kind of learned all those languages while I was at school, so while I was younger. So I haven't tried to learn a new language recently, so I can't really be that, and give any background on that. But I don't think it's that difficult. It wouldn't be as difficult to sort of act or learn a script. I'm not going to say learn a new language, but sort of to learn scripts in another language because I'm kind of used to just adjusting my brain to different kinds of accents and languages. And especially you can, connect it to a character. And so in that sense, I find maybe I have some, faster ways to go about it than people who aren't actors. Maybe, yeah.
Yeah, and it's amazing. Everyone over there, how many languages they speak. It's incredible. And it's great that, you could be on with us today. We thank you very much. If you'd ever like to come back again and be tortured by us, we'd love to have you.
Thank you, Michael, for your invitation. And yes, I will take you up on that, definitely. Hopefully with a new project, so we have some new stuff to talk about. Hopefully. Yeah.
Or we can go into certain other scenes that we didn't talk about the librarians that you did. So
okay, I'm gonna
such as falling down on the floor, but we won't discuss that because I want to get us.
Oh, I would want to shout out to my fellow castmates because we shot that take. I think I counted it. It was around 20 times that I fell.
Oh my goodness!
Wow.
Yes, on them, and they caught me every time. There was two of them. Why it took two people to catch me? That's another that's if
one misses. If one misses, then they have a backup. That's why.
Yeah. It's all about security on set. Yeah. No, but so I would really like to shout out, my castmates for that. Yeah. So they were the best in that sense. That was surreal completely. Yeah, falling fainting 20 times in one day.
Wow.
Really
fun.
Crazy. But everyone, Annamaria, as I said, thank you very much for coming. And everyone, thank you all for coming. Those in the chat room that posted questions, I hope I got to most of them. But please, we're going to have some more librarians guests in the next couple of weeks. So please keep a lookout, subscribe, and follow our social media, ndbmedia.net, and also Talented Universe on, sorry, let me throw it back up there so we can get it up there. YouTube Talented Universe is I always forget because it's YouTube Talented Universe, and on Facebook Talented Universe M. So please like, subscribe, follow so you won't miss anything.
Right.
So again, thank you everyone. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you for having me. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.